Every January, I make New Year's resolutions, but by December, I usually forget them. So, here are my top tips on how to maintain your New Year's resolutions all year long. First things first, you have to reflect on your priorities. Now, I'm a journaler, so I really like journaling. This is my journal from this year. So, I wrote some things down that I was feeling like I needed to improve on for the upcoming year or wanted to stop doing. So, it looks like in here I wrote a few goals for what I wanted this channel to become, goals for my personal faith, and goals for my second and third semesters of acting in college. Another goal of mine was to maintain consistent and healthy reflection through continuing to journal. Then I went through and I numbered each of these by priority. I didn't want to have too much on my plate, but I wanted to have some specific and actionable things I could really work on. Next is my personal favorite, and that's set a visual reminder for yourself. If you can't see behind me, this is my vision board. I'm really passionate about making vision boards every year. And I love even making vision boards when I have like an important event coming up and I want to make sure I have goals for that event or whatnot. I just love making collages and things like that. I also have a prayer board back at my college dorm. So it's really cool to see how much I've grown and how my goals have changed. I've been making vision boards since I was about 15, 16 years old. And now I'm 18, so I've learned kind of what works for me, what I like, and sometimes they can feel a little samey same, and I'm putting the same things on there, and I want to make sure I'm actually growing from them. So this year, I've made a couple new updates to my vision board process. The last couple of years, I compiled my vision board into a Pinterest board, and I separate it by sections. So I have a section that is like quotes about faith and quotes about life and things like that. I've one that is all like real life photos and things of people doing things that kind of speak to what I'm looking forward to in the new year. And I usually have one that's like career focused or based on my major, kind of just depends on what I'm looking at for the new year. The new thing though that I did this year is I actually put a widget on my phone for Pinterest, and you can set it to any board in your account, but I set it to my 2026 prayer board. And so I set that widget, it's like one of the giant square widgets, and I put it on a place where I'll see it on my phone very often. So I get like an hourly rotation of different things I've pinned for my vision board. And it reminds me of those little things that I forget about that I'm trying to prioritize this coming year. And my final tip is small goals, big reward. Something that I'm trying differently this year is splitting up my goals into smaller ones and splitting them up by quarters. So I've divided the year into 3 months at a time, and I take my big umbrella goals that are on my vision board, on my Pinterest board, or what I wrote down in my journal, and I put them into small actionable steps that I can complete one in each quarter. These goals grow in difficulty as I become more comfortable with those things. This makes it easier to commit to one thing at a time, and it makes it easier to quit something or go from 0 to 100. Then I have a reminder set in my phone, so every new quarter I'll go and write a journal entry, check in on the goals I had for this quarter, and make new goals for the next one that up the stakes a little bit. For example, one of my goals for the year was to have less added sugar, less processed foods, things like that. So one small goal that I took for the first quarter is to not drink anything except water at dinner and after dinner time. My other goals for the quarter are stretching every day, to read my Bible every day, and to journal once a week. We'll see if I do more than 4 in the other quarters, but for right now, I think 4 has been a really good marker for me. I also have a widget to help keep track of these goals. So on the front page of my phone, I have a widget for the Reminders app, and I made a list with these 4 main goals in it, and I put that widget on the front of my phone. If you use the medium-sized widget, you can actually see 4 reminders at a time, which is perfect so I can see all 4 at once. And as I go throughout my day, I can check them on and see how much I've completed, which gives me some instant gratification. It also just helps me keep track of what I'm doing and makes me more accountable for my goals. Now, I might be saying this and it sounds like an awful lot for a few goals, but in my opinion, if you really want to see things change, you have to put in some maintenance. Because if you weren't seeing any progress and then you approach your goals the same way this year, why would anything be different? At the end of the day, it's a choice to do what is best for you. Some nights I get home really late or I'm out late with friends and I really don't want to wash my face or brush my teeth or do things like that. And then I think I don't want to have cavities, I don't want to get blemishes. And then I choose to do what's best for myself, and I wash my face and I brush my teeth so I can feel better in the future. And it's the same thing with these goals. Sometimes it sucks to do things and it feels difficult and uncomfortable, but remember that you're on the path to growth, you're on the path to change, and that requires endurance, patience with yourself and with the process, and sometimes with others, and persistence. I know you got this. I know you're going to complete all your goals this year. I know you're not going to be the same person in 2027 as you were when you started 2026. And I know you're going to complete all those goals yearly and quarterly, or even weekly, whatever you decide to do. I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching this video on how to maintain your New Year's resolution this year, and I hope to see you again for another one of my videos. Comment below if there's another video you'd like to see, and if you have any questions about keeping up with your goals this year. And finally, remember that you are loved, and have a great day.